guys, welcome to the video. Today we are going to be doing a Scrawlrbox. So I was going to say, oh, this is my first Scrawlrbox unboxing, but actually I'd filmed one. I filmed last month, but I wasn't very happy with the video, so I scrapped it, and that would have been my first video. Today is the first one that will go live on YouTube. And yeah, so this box was, well, the dispatch email came out last Wednesday, which was 4 or 5 days ago. And I've sat looking at my post box ever since then. It's finally here. Hooray. So yeah, let's get stuck in. It's really weighty and it's pretty full, so that's quite exciting. So let's see what it is. It'll be hard to top last month, but we will see. Okay. Eek. Okay, so I can sort of see the print. And that kind of looks a bit doodly, so I'm going to move this. Wow, that's a, okay. I'm going to get rid of the box. It's taking up room. Okay, so we've got the Scrawler zine. Wow, okay. This is going to be cut. We were talking about this the other day. Yeah, well, not us, but yeah. Someone I know. We were talking about it'd be great to have a proper sketchbook, and looks like we've got one. So this is kind of, yeah, Zentangly. Let's have a look at the supplies. The sketchbook, amazing. Ooh, okay. So we have the sticker, which looks like it's come from the print. That way. Creating calm. I wouldn't know anything about that. A white Posca. Yeah. A Faber-Castell Eco Pigment in a 0.1. I was actually using one of these yesterday, but it's pretty run out, so cool. And then we have, wow, okay, so Faber-Castell Goldfarber 2B pencil, so pretty standard. Sweet. A slim eraser. Okay. And let's get rid of these. The Brunzil 6 colour fine liners and brush pens. Oh, Venice edition and Tokyo edition, so they're pretty cool. And the prompt this month is creating calm. So this month's box is all about finding calm in the creative process. There is no pressure to create a perfect finished piece, but experimenting with supplies, switching off and learning to trust the process. Try to let go of any pressure or expectations. Maybe ask yourself, what does being creative mean to you? Okay, so I have an idea for this already, but I will, yeah, I will get to swatching these supplies straight away with you. These are my favourites. Actually, let's not swatch supplies. Let's have a little look at the Scrawler zine first and the print. That is a lot of stuff. Anyway, okay, so the print is by, oh my goodness, Akansha. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Palarao. So this artist is from India but living in Toronto. Instagram account, I don't know if you can see that of the artist, so I should be giving that a follow later. But that print is, I guess it goes this way, I'm not really sure. And that's pretty amazing anyway. Okay, and the zine. So just looking at the supplies. Sit down with the artist. These are always really interesting to read. Things to try and the artist's advice. It's artworks from a couple of boxes ago. This was charcoal, and yeah, yeah, we won't talk about that. Something about art therapy. So this is, like I say, this is kind of Zentangle, so that's quite good. And this lovely sketchbook, actually. Excellent. So let's get into these. Show that doesn't lay flat. There we go. Okay. Wow, that's really small. I think I have this in like a 0.5 or 6. Oh, it's black. I was expecting this to be grey. That is a nice fine liner though. It's very thin, but not scratchy. I find sometimes that these thinner fine liners can be very scratchy. I actually stabbed myself the other day with a 0.1 zig fine liner and it hurt a lot. Okay, lovely. That's the side, that's a rubber. I probably won't open that because I have quite, oh, maybe I will. So the pencil's quite smooth. I mean, that's pretty much what I would expect from a 2B. 2Bs were actually one of my favourite hardnesses, whatever you want to call it, of a pencil. So that was a 0.1. Okay, this is the good stuff, this one. We're not going to have to see this, are we? I'll do that in a minute. Okay, so let's open the Venice edition. So what are these anyway? I'm guessing these are water-based, providing you with not just one set of pens but two. Each set is a collection of complementary colour. These sets are for urban sketching, hand lettering, bullet journaling, brush lettering and drawing. Dual tipped, brush tip, 0.4 fine nib, water-based ink. Ah, they can be reactivated, so we can basically use these as watercolours as well. Excellent. Yeah. Okay, so this, yeah, Venice set. So let's swatch these. Normally I would take them out of the boxes, but I think I will keep them in the boxes to keep them in there because they're supposed to be complementary colours. So, okay. Yep. Oh, actually, do a little. So you can get quite a lot of different line weights with that. I'm not sure if you can see this, it's very pale, but. And you definitely won't be able to see that. Okay. They're quite nice. They're a nice shape, they're like triangular. You can see. Fantastic, very nice colours. I'll put them back in a bit. You don't need to see me putting pens back in a box with my broken hand. It's not broken, it's just, it doesn't work very well. Okay, so this is the Tokyo edition. These are a bit more earthy with a pink. Okay, So they're an interesting set of colours. So I'm just wondering whether to combine both, or do we go for two separate pieces? Interesting. Ah, yes. Yes. Okay, let's go for this. So my technique for opening these is a twist to break the plastic. I don't know what everybody else does. A shake and a slide. Yeah. I've used Posca a lot. Okay, and then you pump. If I remember rightly, this is a 1MR. Now, this is the smallest, I think. Well, I'm not really sure what's the smallest, whether it's the 1M or the 1MR, but they are different types of nib. I'm going to pump it here, so I know when it comes through. These tend to take a very long time, these 1MRs, but out of the smaller nibs, this is my favourite. The 1M tends to splatter paint everywhere. Well, the 1MR glides beautifully. Doesn't want to give us any of that paint today. There we go. Okay, so there you go. They don't, okay. I think this might take a couple of coats to get a decent coverage. Sometimes with Posca, it depends on the what you're layering over. Sometimes you will get a nice, really opaque coverage straight away with a white, and sometimes it will seep into the ink below. Now maybe this isn't quite dry, and that's why, I don't know if you can see this, but on these lines I can still kind of see that it's sitting on a grey, whereas this, where I went over it twice, is more opaque. But yeah, so let's just see how the Posca behaves with the fine liner. And with our, let's do along with the pencil, because actually I'm going to use that rubber. I'm going to see, I want to see how it erases, because I use a putty rubber normally, and the only other rubber I will use is a Blackwing rubber that's on the end of a Blackwing pencil. So I'm going to give that a minute to dry, but let's just see how. Yeah, so that goes over fine. See, this is more opaque over the pencils, and I suspect it's probably because the pencil is dry straight away, because these are water-based, they might take a little while to dry. Or it may be that they're just quite pigmented and the Posca's, yeah, see, I think it's going to take a couple of layers of Posca. Okay, and last but not least, I'm going to eat this. I don't know what it is. I'm going to eat that as well. Haha. No sweets get past me. Okay. Thumb doesn't want to open it. So if anybody's wondering while I'm fighting with this, the reason why I am complaining about my thumb and wearing a wrist strap is because I have a condition called de Quervain's tenosynovitis, which is repetitive strain injury. Cue the jokes. Which is a bit of a pain. I am right-handed, so, and that's my left hand, so it's fine. But I think when you have an injury like that, you realise how much you actually use your non-dominant hand. Anyway. Okay, that's a decent eraser. Okay, I may use this. Okay. I am going to now go and get a paintbrush and some water, and I'm going to see how water soluble these are, because they claim to be. I'm going to eat this on the way there, so I will pause and be back. Okay, I am back, so let's just go on to the next page. Do this, and let's see. Let's just swatch some, not all of them, but we can swatch a few of them. So I prefer watercolours in pen form, and I use the Ecoline brush pens by Raw Talons. I think it's Raw Talons to do my watercolours with. So I'm hoping that these are going to behave the same. Okay. No. No, they do not. I mean, they might be worth trying to scribble on something and then pick it up. Not impressed with that. And I don't think that this sketchbook's going to take a lot of water, so I probably won't use this technique today. Yes, they are water soluble, I will give them that, but they're not great for it. But I think this is mixed media paper, and you know, it's not really for this kind of thing. I mean, it's not leaching straight through, but I can already tell it's buckling. So what would we get if we use the fine liner? So fine liner kind of dissolves a bit better, but you can definitely see those lines. I'm gonna try if I can find try and do this without getting gouache into it, but like if we can scribble, this is another way you can scribble onto the palette. This is not a technique I've ever used, but I know you can do it, and then you can just make a wash basically. Okay, so that works pretty well actually. I may use them this way. So what I also want to see is how the pen will behave. I mean, I didn't give that any time to dry, and that's okay. You know what? I am going to use these with water, I think. Okay, so that everything's swatched. I quite like these. I mean, I've got a lot of watercolor, like water soluble pens, but I'm quite excited to see how these do. They appear to make a nice wash, and they don't. I can see a slight bit of bleeding on those lines, but I didn't let them dry at all. I literally did the lines, ran my finger over it to make sure it wasn't smudged straight away, and then went straight in with the watered down pen. So I think it's going to be good. I have an idea. I'm going to pause, take a quick break, tidy up, get a palette, and I will come back and we can get into some artwork. Okay, as you can see, I have sketched out this basic landscape. So we just got some different like height mountains, kind of in like a rivery, sea, I don't know, lake type situation going on. I kind of wanted to do something where I could potentially use both sets. I did leave the, what was it, the Venice set out to use. But I'm going to probably make the most of both sets. I would get Tokyo out as well. It's very strange that there's no colour. It doesn't tell you, I don't think, which. No, very odd. Okay, it doesn't actually tell you which colours go with which, so I'm going to try and keep them a bit separate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do like this Zentangly style. I'm going to flash up something I used to do. Hopefully you might see a picture in a second. But I used to do like these Zentangly mountains, which is what I'm going to do here. This print is really tickling my pickle. I might put this up somewhere. So, yeah, okay, so here is the art bit. this is what I have done with today's Scrawlrbox, or this month's Scrawlrbox. Yeah, I think that the supplies are really, really good. Get rid of that rubbish. I like these pens. The only thing I don't like about them is, it might just be, this is clearly multimedia paper. I didn't actually read the card about it. But I believe it's multimedia paper, and not always great for wet media. It's not actually buckled too much, which is good. However, these pens, I would have expected to have been able to reactivate them properly with a paintbrush on the paper, and you can see here I tried to do that just to get a little bit of a blend in the sky between the pink and the blue, and I couldn't. Now, I know I can do this with an Ecoline brush pen, but I use those on watercolour paper, so it would be interesting to use these on watercolour paper. So I'm going to probably have a go with that. They didn't leak through too much. I can't use that side of the paper. It's buckled and you can see there's something on it, but that's fine. Yeah, I think the Posca layers quite well over the top, and I've not even finished. The Faber-Castell, yeah, Faber-Castell Eco Pigment pen. Didn't smudge at all once it had dried. And one thing I quite like as well is where I've masked the sides, sometimes you can get a little bit of leakage under the tape, but I haven't had that. Now, I use the Yellow Frog tape. This is the delicate one for delicate surfaces. This is an actual proper painter's tape. This isn't washi tape. This isn't for masking art. This is for decorating. But I would highly recommend this. You can pick this up on Amazon for about £5 in the UK, and whatever the equivalent exchange rate is for other countries. So yeah, that is it for today. I'm going to leave a link below to Scrawlrbox. If you would like to just subscribe yourself and get yourself, you can either buy boxes on their own. You can buy past boxes. You can get a 1 month. You can get a 3 month subscription, and I believe 6 and 12, but don't quote me on that. But if you follow the link I'm going to leave below, you would get some discount on your first month. And also, if you would like to see what else I do with this box, then check out my Instagram at Zoe Hartist. I will leave a link to all my social media accounts below. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. And yeah, I think it's worth a play with these supplies. I would recommend this box, to be honest. It was quite exciting. It was so heavy. Sometimes you get a box and they're really light and you're like, oh no. To be fair though, when I found a light box, they've never disappointed. But this is too high and you can't see my hands. But yeah, this was an exciting box to get this great big wad come through the post that had a weight to it. But yeah, give it a go yourself. If you've got this box, get a paintbrush out, have a play with a palette. I think that worked really, really well. And once they were dry, this is a little tip, the colour will go over the top. But if they're wet, they won't. So I don't know whether they claim that you can do wet on wet with these pens, but in my experience with them, which to be fair is just this piece, you can't. But overall, I think, yeah, this is a really good box and I enjoyed it. So if you liked the video, give it a like. Subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and if you would like alerts to when I post the next video, you can hit the bell and you will get the alerts every time a video comes up. So yeah, I will see you next time. Bye.